Tennessee County is paying one family almost $2 million after the arrest and death of a 74-year-old retired minister. This marks 1 year since authorities in Monroe County arrested Lester Isbill and kept him restrained for hours in a jail cell with a hood over his head before his death. A federal lawsuit also targets 2 nurses, 2 police officers, and the city of Madisonville. Almost half a dozen people in this case face a criminal charge. 10 News anchor Shay Smith explains the twists in this case since we first broke the story last June.
From early afternoon until just after 11 p.m., Lester Isbill sat restrained in the jail chair with no water, food, or a bathroom break. For much of that time, jailers kept a spit hood over his head. When employees saw he had stopped breathing, they removed him and called for an ambulance, but it was too late. Over the course of our reporting, we've uncovered falsified records, obtained 911 calls and police body camera video, and combed through many personnel files. At the end of the month, 7 former jail personnel and 2 former contract nurses will appear in court on charges connected to his death. On February 6, 2025, 74-year-old Lester Isbill was paying a bill at a Madisonville business. An employee called 911 asking for a medical check on him. Madisonville police and EMSA arrived. Body camera video shows Isbill was confused and experiencing a medical emergency. His blood pressure was dangerously high. Isbill declined to leave with his daughter or with EMSA, so police eventually arrested him for disorderly conduct and took him to the Monroe County Justice Center. Jail cell video shows while in his cell, Isbill fell and hit his head. Instead of medically treating him, correction officers strapped Isbill to a restraint chair, then put a hood on him soon after. Video and jail records show he sat in that chair for more than 9 hours with no food, no water, and no bathroom break. Around 11, jail staff found him unresponsive. On June 3rd, 10 News aired its first story about the death after family and friends held a protest at the Justice Center. The next day, Monroe County Sheriff Tommy Jones released a statement saying in part, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation had already looked into Isbill's death. Monroe County District Attorney General Stephen Hatchett told 10 News at that time he was taking a closer look into Isbill's death. Then, on the 6th, the sheriff released a second statement saying Isbill's autopsy confirmed he passed away from natural causes, and it was impossible to determine whether hospitalization would have changed the outcome. The sheriff said 1 correction corporal was fired, 2 correction officers resigned, and a correction officer and 2 sergeants were suspended without pay. He did not disclose their names. Almost 1 month later, after obtaining internal records, 10 News reported multiple correction officers had been written up for falsifying jail logs. Through personnel files, 10 News found that Sergeant Josh Duncan was written up for allowing chair logs to be falsified by correction officer Tyler Finger. His file also says he objected to the accusation, saying Corporal Jaron Henry was the one who checked the logs. In Sergeant Michael Longmire's file, it shows he too was written up for allowing restraint chair logs to be falsified. Records show Longmire and Duncan were both suspended for 3 days without pay. Henry was dismissed June 5th for failing to get Isbill medical attention despite being told to by Madisonville police. In late August, in a rare move, the Knox County Regional Forensic Center amended Isbill's autopsy, declaring his death was a homicide. 5 correction officers were then suspended with pay. The sheriff had already disciplined many of the same officers earlier in the year. After Isbill's autopsy was amended, General Hatchett announced he would take this case to a grand jury the following month. On September 3rd, a Monroe County grand jury indicted 5 jail staff and 2 contract nurses in the death of Lester Isbill. Nurse Courtney Woods was indicted on a count of criminally negligent homicide. Nurse Greg Mills was indicted on 1 count of making a false report. Joshua Duncan, Jaron Henry, Tyler Finger, and Elijah Spencer and Tommy Reagan were charged with official misconduct. The 7 are due in court at the end of the month. Of course, we will keep you updated as this story develops.
And you can read the in-depth reporting by lead investigative producer John North and anchor Shay Smith right now at WBIR.com.